What's up, guys and girls? This is Chapter 1, Episode 1 of the By Steve podcast. Spring has sprung. You can see outside those patio doors that the sun is bright, and it seemed like the right day to launch a podcast. By Steve. So, what do we need to talk about? We're going to talk about me today. So, it's By Steve, Steve Foster. I have an umbrella of ventures, and I am looking to expand that into the podcasting realm. So today we're just going to talk all about me and what I bring to the podcasting world. So I'm a strength and conditioning coach by trade. I am a former teacher in a different life. I taught college students. I'm a basketball player in the deepest, darkest depths of my life. That is the one thing that defines me more than anything, I think. And I'm just trying to make my way in this basketball world still, over 40, looking to carry on competing for as long as possible. I'm a sneakerhead. I'm a food junkie. I like to read. I like to listen to music. I don't own a television, and I basically just spend all of my time doing laundry, washing up, and cooking food. But the reason why I'm here is because I want to explore the podcasting space, and over time, I want to get friends, family, fellow basketball players, fellow self-employed entrepreneurs, if that's where we want to go. And people in to discuss not only their lives and their journeys, but also like the things outside that keep them ticking over. Are you a musician, but you have a secret passion for potted plants? What keeps everybody ticking over? And I think the most important thing as well, that there's really going to be a strong thread of mental health awareness, not necessarily just for men, but for men, but also for women, obviously. But how that affects our day-to-day life, but also how that affects sporting life, how that affects performance, how that affects everything from when you wake up in the morning to when you go back to bed. And there's varying different levels of that I hope to find people to talk to over the time that I hold and release these podcasts. Episode 1, always going to be a Bumble, right? Bumble, dating life 2. Let's hit on those dating stories. Let's hear all about how the world is a little bit crazy because now we meet people in apps. It's just screen time, right? But that's just a little bit of a deviation for today. Let's keep that as a topic of dating stories 101. What did Bumble, Hinge, and Tinder bring to your life? Probably not a lot. We're 3.5 minutes in. I've already run out of things to talk about. No, I haven't. Let's discuss me. Let's talk about Steve. Let's see what he's all about. I'm referring to myself in the third person right now, which is interesting. Never done that before. But what makes me tick? As I said earlier on, like, I'm a basketball player. Deep down, like, that's the one thing that keeps me sane. It keeps me ticking over. And I just love to compete. I love to compete. And there's going to be episodes of this where I either express myself or I'm going to bring in people to question me on my journey basketball-wise. This August 2023, I will fly out to Argentina, and I will represent Great Britain as part of the over 40s basketball team to compete at the World Championships. And that's going to be, for me, probably the pinnacle of my basketball career, if I've ever had a career. I will be out there with 11 other teammates and the coaching staff put together by Maxi Basketball, to go and hopefully compete and bring something home We went to the European Championships last year. We came fourth. We lost the semi-final by 1 point. We went to a little mini tournament in Spain just over Christmas and we came second. So we've got a little bit of pedigree where we can get shit done, but we need to get shit done now. And the group of guys that I've got involved, or I'm involved with, hopefully I get the opportunity to interview them about their experiences and what they think and feel this GB Maxi basketball experience is bringing to them. And we will see how that goes. We will see. Obviously, we're all spread out. We're Great Britain, so there's a guy in Scotland, there's a guy in Cornwall, there's a couple of guys in London, and there's a guy in Stourbridge. But yeah, you know, we're all over. We're all over. So hopefully we can get all those guys in. If not, I'll try and get like the best of the bad bunch, right? See what's out there and see who we can get involved. And maybe even some of the coaches and the directors of that organisation as well. Also in a basketball sense, like I've played for a club called Birmingham Mets for pretty much most of my basketball career. We've floated around National League Division 2, Division 3. And we've had mixed successes. We've been really successful over the years, and you know, we've also had those losing seasons. So it'd be good to try and speak to some of those guys as well. But that has been my bread and butter for my sporting career. I tried a triathlon or two once. It didn't go so well. So we won't really talk about that too much. But yeah, what else? What else keeps me ticking? I'm a sneakerhead. I love Jordans. I love Air Jordans. I want to talk to people about stuff like that. Like, are you a collector? Like, what's your sneaker? What's your number one shoe? Are you a Jordan 4? Are you a Jordan 1? Do you love a dunk? Better not be a Panda dunk. You know, are you a Samba kind of guy? Are you in that Adidas world? You know, sneakerheads this day and age are all about the hype. But let's rewind it. Like, talk to sneakerheads from my generation, the OG sneakerheads who, you know, you could wear like the most basic shoe, but if it had a sentimental value to you, like that didn't take away from your sneakerheadedness. Now, if you're not rocking like a Travis, you know, somebody would say that like you're not really that guy. You know, have you got a plug who's hooking you up with the latest sneakers? Or are you just bargain hunting? You on those rails looking for your size 12s of something that's just a little bit obscure that, you know, a proper sneakerhead's going to be like, all right, I see you. And then outside of that, books and music. I'd love to have like a little like, let's all go buy the same book. Let's all poddy on the same book review. What is that book? Can we find like a little 2-week turnaround on a little book? That was my air freshener. Gonna have to turn that off next time I do a podcast. And also the same with music. I've got a lot of friends who work in the music industry and are doing amazing things. And music again is my go-to. Like, leave the house, headphones on, even when I'm walking around the house. As I said earlier, I don't own a television, so everything's going through my ears. It's the way I love to process information. So love the way that's the way I love to process everything, like music, books, podcasts. Not really a visual guy with the television, but you know. But what I do know is I feel like I've got a little bit of room in my life to put these podcasts out once every couple of 3 weeks, and try and bring in some interesting people, but also fill in the gaps of my story. There's some really big aspects that some of the people who know me, who are listening to this, will know about. But also, like, there's some really big things out that need sharing and talking about that have happened to me historically. That I feel hold a lot of value to a lot more people out there. So I wanted to make this first one really quick, really punchy. We're heading up to around about 10 minutes. I'm going to sign off. I'm Steve. This is the By Steve podcast. We are going to close it off with see you soon, speak later. And And if you've got anything that you want covering, drop a little message, maybe even drop a little comment, and let's talk. Let's get things out there. Let's find some interesting topics for us to cover on the By Steve podcast in the future. Peace.